Cool. Hello everyone. First of all, we are extremely sorry to keep you guys waiting for around 5 to 10 minutes since you wanted participants to join. So yeah, Guru, I guess we are good to go now. We have around 40 participants and that's what we were
Yeah, we
expecting.
are good to go. I guess there are a few other events as well and classes. I guess that's the reason for low attendees. But yeah, we'll share the recording anyways and other details. So we are good to go.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So first we'll just
So,
give an intro. Meanwhile, I'll turn off the screen share. Let's switch on our
mm,
cams. So yeah,
it's
Divyansh,
better if you screen
host
share,
for
no?
today.
Guru, it's better if you screen share, I guess.
Screen share, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. So hi everyone. So here Divyansh is the host for today's session. Divyansh, take over.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is Divyansh Gupta, the co-lead, or you can say the operations lead, and an Android app developer at Google Developer Students Club, Geetam University, Visakhapatnam campus. Guru, there's a disturbance from your side, I guess. Yeah. So I'll be your host for today's event of GDSE, a gateway to software industry, where we will be guiding you through one of the ways where it could be achieved. And as the quote says, and as the quote says, quote like this was told by one of the software engineer, in order to survive in this field, in order to survive in the software field, you need to be updated and skilled with new and the latest trending technologies. And one such technology is Google Cloud Services. I'll just give you guys a brief of what it is and how it works. So, Google Cloud Services is a suite for public cloud computing services offered by Google. The cloud platform includes a range of hosted services for computer storage and application development that run on Google hardware. It can be used by software developers, cloud administrators, and IT professionals, etc. So, you might be thinking of how this is related to GDSE. Hence, guys, Google is providing you this opportunity to learn these stuff for free, where we, the GDSC people of Geetam Visakhapatnam, we act as a bridge between you all and Google. We have a 30-day program where you can develop these skill set soon. They have some tasks for you, other stuff, and once you complete those tasks, you will be provided with some attractive goodies. Last year, I completed, and many of my friends they also completed. We got some goodies such as T-shirts from Google, and we got certifications from Google that yeah, we know this thing, we know Google Cloud Services, so we can add it on our resume. First thing, yeah. So today what we are going to do is today Guru is going to explain you about how it works, how what is this program, when to do, when and everything else, and what are the goodies that Google is going to provide you guys. And so yeah, I'll be calling Guru, and after Guru there will be Samuel. Samuel is an app developer in our team, and he'll be guiding us through what we have to do in that thing. Yeah. So Guru, it's over to you. Please guide the people regarding what do we do, what we have to do, and all this stuff. All the best.
Thank you, Divyansh. That was a very wonderful explanation. So, hi everyone. As you know, we are GDSC Geetam, that is Google Developer Student Clubs from Geetam Visakhapatnam. Before we continue, I would just like to tell about what GDSC is basically. Google Developer Student Clubs are a community groups for colleges and university students interested in Google Developer technologies. We are open to everyone and anyone who is interested to learn about technology and grow. Our main motive is to connect, learn, and grow together as a community of students. So yeah, today I'll be going on with the session of 30 days of Google Cloud program. So me and my co-host Samuel are here to tell you about the 30 days of Google Cloud program. This is a program which is limited to only 50,000 students across the whole India. Google provides the opportunities for GDSC clubs to share this opportunity with their students and their fellow classmates. Basically, they provide free credits worth hundreds of dollars, and also they provide free cloud services in which you could explore and learn. So basically, me and Samuel will now be going around about this 30 days of Google Cloud program and telling you about this. Samuel would introduce about the initial portion of this session.
Yeah, good
Samuel,
morning,
I
everyone.
will.
I'm Samuel. So let's start from the beginning. So, what is cloud? Well, the word cloud refers to servers accessed over the internet and the software and the databases that run on those servers. These cloud servers are located in data centers all around the world. By using cloud computing, users and companies do not have to manage physical servers or run software applications on their own machines. Take Google Drive, for example. It is a cloud service that provides storage for its users, which can be accessed by users anywhere across the globe. The data we upload to the drive is stored at the data centers in our provisioned storage capacity. In earlier days, if you wanted to use or host a website, you pretty much have to set up your own server, maintain them, and scale them up when your users grow. All this is difficult. Later came the days of renting computing resources. This is a bit better, where you rent for required resources and physical devices and use them, but this is all still not efficient, as you still have to maintain them. Cloud computing made all of this easier today. So how is the cloud better? Well, there are 5 key points to talk about. Let's go through them. First one is on-demand self-service. So you don't have to request or contact someone to rent out your resources, etc. You can quickly provision your necessary resources on demand with something just like a browser or something else. Second one is broad network access. You can access your resources anywhere with the internet. Third is resource pooling. Instead of renting out single machine or server machine, cloud providers shares resources to their customers. So this also allows you to use your resources efficiently. Fourth is rapid elasticity, which means that you can quickly scale up your resources if your product is growing and needs more resources. Last but not the least, measured service. Cloud service allows to pay only for what you use or consume. So we don't have to pay for all maintenance and for buying all computing resources. We pay for what we use as resources. Yeah, over to you, Guru. Hello. Okay, so let's talk about GCP or Google Cloud Platform. GCP is a suite of cloud computing services that runs on the same infrastructure that Google uses internally for its end user products, such as Google Search, Gmail, file storage like Drive, and YouTube. GCP is not just a single service, but it provides a bunch of useful services based on its users' needs.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an introduction about GCP cloud computing. So now I'll be telling that there are few things to know about computing architecture. That is, as you can see on the screen, there are few things that I'm going to explain right now. IaaS stands for Infrastructure as Service, which means that the service provides infrastructure for a user. So IaaS means to provide raw computing resources like processing, storage, and network features. PaaS, on the other hand, stands for Platform as Service, which means that the service provides a platform to run your application code instead of trying to provision actual raw computing resources. And SaaS stands for Software as Service. Google Workshop apps like Gmail, Drive, Docs, etc. are all the examples of software as service. This is a very popular type of service. They are directly accessible to the end users on the internet, so they aren't mentioned here, as many of you might already know. So a Google Cloud Platform, that is GCP consumer or a customer, can use an architecture based on their needs. So if the consumer needs proper infrastructure that can be managed and fine-tuned, they have to choose GCP services like Computing Engine, which is also an infrastructure as a service, or Kubernetes engine. If the GCP user cares more about functionality, he can move towards dynamic infrastructure features provided on GCP like an App Engine, which is a PaaS, or Cloud Function Services, where you don't even have to care about the server, or manage services like translation, text to speech, speech to text, Cloud SQL, AI platform, etc., and many more. Over to you, Samuel.
Okay. So you can use GCP for many things: building infrastructure, scalable applications, hosting web servers, store cloud databases, build IoT solutions, or use it for data science or artificial intelligence and machine learning applications, etc. The possibilities are limitless. Some of the reasons why GCP is used is that it provides better pricing than other cloud providers. It provides better performance and state-of-the-art security, as your data is always encrypted. GCP also keeps redundant backups of your data, so it is not lost. For example, Google Photos, which we use to store pictures on cloud, makes about 3 backups of the same image just in case something goes wrong or when you go offline. Let's look at some of the big examples of where GCP is being used. Next slide. So let's look at some of the solutions that use Google Cloud. Google Workspace is certainly an example. All these work through GCP. We use Gmail, and we use Drive, we use Slides, and all these Google Workspace apps. And all these are built using Google Cloud Platform, which is GCP. YouTube uses GCP as well. We all must have heard of Google Stadia, which is cloud gaming service. The idea behind Stadia is to have your games run on Google's big servers and stream the video output to your TV, computer, or even on your smartphone. All you would need is a Stadia game controller to play the games. So you render those AAA title games on those beefy machines and play at 4K 60 FPS. Sounds cool, right? And successful companies like PayPal, Twitter, Procter & Gamble, King, the makers of Candy Crush, and all these companies use GCP. This way, the cloud also brings a lot of career opportunities for cloud engineers. The next slide, please.
So with all this in mind, we might get excited about learning cloud and GCP. So Google Cloud India has come up with this program called 30 Days of Google Cloud. Every year, thousands of you join this 1 month program for free to learn GCP. As I've mentioned, this time Google Cloud India is giving this chance for 50,000 people across the whole India on first come first serve basis to enroll in this program and learn. This program will introduce you to computing, application development, big data, and machine learning using Google Cloud training platform called Quick Labs, which we will be demonstrating to you in a while, where you will learn each of these topics using self-paced labs that provide you temporary credentials to the Google Cloud. So you don't even need to worry about losing your data to anything. So you can learn about the cloud using actual platform, no simulations. So let's talk about the benefits of this program. Since I've told this is a limited access program, there are a lot of benefits to it which you can avail. In this 30 days program, you will gain hands-on experience of using the Google Cloud platform. You'll learn real-world skills on Google Cloud Console using Quick Labs. There will be challenge lab at end of every topic to prove that you have acquired the necessary knowledge. You will also be provided credits which you can use for free to learn about these skills. And then finally, you can share your accomplishments. You can share the skill badges that you're earning from completing this course on LinkedIn and other social networks, and also improve your resume. As you might have heard in this new century, online resumes or the online skill badges have proven to improve your chances of getting selected or shortlisted. Samuel will be telling you about the tracks.
Yeah. In this 30 days of Google Cloud program, students are given the choice of 2 learning tracks based on their interests. Different prizes will be awarded for completing different tracks, and completing both tracks will award even better prizes, which we'll talk about later. So track 1 is about cloud engineering. So as you can see, we have 6 skill badges to earn in track 1. The first one is getting started, create and manage cloud resources. Second one is about performing foundational infrastructure tasks in Google Cloud. The third one is about setup and configure a cloud environment in Google Cloud. The fourth one is deploy and manage cloud environments with Google Cloud. Fifth one is build and secure networks in Google Cloud. The final one is about deploying Kubernetes in Google Cloud. So track 1 is all about cloud engineering, and it is about exploring and deploying solution elements, including components such as networks, systems, and application services. So track 2 is for data science and machine learning enthusiasts, where you can learn and demonstrate proficiency in key data and ML topics to prepare for roles in data, marketing, or business fields. So we have, so we can see here that we have another 6 skill badges here. First one is getting started, create and manage cloud resources. This is common with the first track. Second one is perform foundational data, ML, and AI tasks in Google Cloud. Third one is insights from data with BigQuery. Fourth one is about engineering data in Google Cloud. Fifth one is to integrate with machine learning APIs. And the final one is to explore machine learning models with explainable AI. So we have total of 11 skills to learn in this program, 6 if you want to opt for only one track. Note that there are only 11 skills because the first one is common for both tracks. Guru, you are on
Guru, you're on mute.
guys. So I'll tell a few lines about what Quick Labs is, and Samuel over here will be demonstrating a very short lab which will let you know how it works. So basically, Quick Labs is the platform where we can perform and learn programs. Quick Lab is a learning platform which helps us to learn about all these technologies using Google credits and complete them and gain skill badges. So here are a few badges to look at. As we have already covered the names of the topics, these are the badges which you will be getting, and you can share them on your social media and gain a lot of attention through this. Samuel, if you would now share your screen and just demonstrate using a small project or a small track, I mean to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you ready with the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll stop my screen share. So follow on to Samuel.
So is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is Quick Labs. This is where you will learn in this program, in this entire program. So Quick Labs is also a product from Google. So here you can learn and improve your cloud computing skills. So before getting started, you have to create an account in Quick Labs. I already have my account here, and you can find a lot of quests here, and each quest contains few labs. As you can see here, there are about 7 to 8 labs in each quest, and the quests we are going to work in this program are called skill badges. These skill badges quests have additional challenge labs to test your understanding. So let me quickly open the first skill badge quest on our track. So create and manage cloud resources is the first skill badge quest we have to complete. So as you can see here, we have few labs in this quest, and the last one will usually be your challenge lab to test what have you learned so far. So I'm going to demonstrate a lab called creating a virtual machine. We'll talk about all of this as we go through this. As you can see, before we go through the to the lab, let's familiarize with all this user interface. So on the right, you can see the navigation where you can see all the sections of this entire lab. And after that, you can see the title, and it takes about 40 minutes to complete this lab. And it costs 1 credit to start this lab. So to talk about credits, each lab in Quick Labs takes some credits. You have to give some credits in order to access the lab. So as you can see here, I have about 17 credits in my account. By joining this program, you will be given about 600 credits in your account. So if you look at here, just to show, 600 credits cost about $540, which is about 40,000 rupees. So this program provides you those credits for free. And after that, if you run this lab, 1 credit will be deducted from our balance. So here's start lab. When we click on this, the countdown starts, and within 40 minutes, we have to complete this lab. And another thing is, for students, there are special resources available on the left on some labs. So you can click on this video link and watch it to gain much better understanding of what's happening here. So regarding this lab, here you can find all the content of the lab. You have to go through all these instructions and all this matter to understand what is going on in the lab. And another thing is that every Quick lab is for a score of 100 marks. So as you can see here, there are 100 marks for this entire lab. And if you can see here, there are few checkpoints or objectives to meet. And in this lab, we have 2 checkpoints to meet, and each one is about for 50 marks. And in order to complete a lab, you have to finish all the checkpoints, and you have to get 100 upon 100 in order to pass the lab. So you have to be careful about that. And now to talk about this. So in this lab, we are going to use the Compute Engine service provided by Google Cloud. Compute Engine allows us to create virtual machines. I'll talk about virtual machines, which run different operating systems. As you can see here, it gives all the information about. So what virtual machine is actually is, it's similar to an actual computer, but not on physical terms. So a virtual machine will have its memory or RAM, its processing processor or the processing power, and it'll have its own secondary storage for storing anything, any data, and all the things are similar to a normal computer. It also has its own operating system. So the thing about this is, instead of renting out a complete computer or a physical server, which has about terabytes of storage and many number of cores on computer, we are through the process of virtualization, Google Cloud provides us some part of it to use as virtual machine. So that's how virtual machines work. So this helps us use these servers efficiently. So we don't have to pay for the entire server if we want to, say, deploy a web server, which we'll do in this lab. So in this lab, we'll create a virtual machine, and we'll see how we'll do that. Okay. So let me quickly start the lab. So you have to click on I'm not a robot. So it's saying that the lab costs 1 credit. I have 17 credits, so I'm launching. I have to click on Open Google Console, and a page like this appears, and I have to copy the username that's present here. So I'm copying it. Actually, the same thing. I'm going to copy the password. This is all standard procedure. Every time you try using QuickLabs creates a temporary account for you to use in GCP. So so finally we are here at the GCP console. This is called GCP console. Here's where you do most of the tasks that QuickLabs provides you. As you can see here, this is our dashboard. And here is the navigation menu where we can find all the Google Cloud services. There are a lot to use, and you will learn about most of these in this entire program. And in this program, in this lab, we are going to first build a virtual machine with a cloud console, and then we'll build using gcloud command line, and then deploy a web server to it. So one thing to know is that there are different ways of using GCP. One way of using GCP is by using the Google Cloud Console. So this is the Google Cloud Console, which can be accessed using a web browser, but usually Chrome is preferred to use this, and we'll usually run this on incognito to avoid any problems. And the second way of using GCP or accessing GCP is using the Cloud Shell. So this is the graphical user version of GCP. And if you want to do it even faster, you're going to use Google Cloud Shell. I'm going to activate Google Cloud Shell. So it will take a few seconds to run. So this Google Cloud Shell is also a virtual machine that Google Cloud provides us for free with storage of 5 GB. So we can use this to run our commands. And by doing so, we can quickly do things more than the graphical user interface, which is the console. And there are other ways as well. We can even use SDK so that we can access GCP using our favorite programming language like Python, Java, etc. There are other options as well. And we also have a mobile app where we can access some features of the Google Cloud Platform. So let's continue. So it gives all the details as we did earlier. We signed in and we opened the account. We also activated Cloud Shell. It's the same thing. So you have to read all this to understand what's happening. So with this command, you can list what account you're using. For example, let me copy this command. So if you click on authorize, so this is the active account. You can even change the active account by using this command. So given guides to follow, but we are not going to do this now. After that, you can see there are some more commands to list the project which we are using. As you can see, this is the project ID that QuickLab created for us. In real life, we will actually create a project and we will use it with some name we give. So here's the same project we can find here. And next thing is that Compute Engine. Compute Engine is an infrastructure as a service provided by Google Cloud. So everything you create in Compute Engine lives in regions or zones. A region is like a specific geographical location, like some state in USA or Europe or something like that. And each region has one or more zones. For example, it says here that US Central 1 region has about 4 zones, as you can see here, and these are the popular regions available in GCP: Western US, Central US, Eastern US, Western Europe, and Eastern Asia. We'll usually be using Central US for this entire QuickLab program. So we have 4 zones in this. So this is how Compute Engine's resources are distributed. Okay, so we are going to do the first task. As you can see here, this is the first task we are going to do, which is we're going to create a new VM instance from the Cloud Console. So we are going to do using the graphical user interface. So the way we do it, we click on navigation menu, we go to Compute Engine, and we click on VM instance, which stands for virtual machine instances. So we're trying to create a new instance of virtual machine. So here's how it looks. So click on create instance. Okay, so it gives us a bunch of options for us to configure our virtual machine. So let's see what QuickLab is asking us to do. So it's giving some parameters for us to fill in. So actually, we can select whatever we want. But for this program, we are going to do the way it says, because it will check if we use the same parameters. So the name should be GCE Lab. Let's rename that. We can give anything, but for this lab, we are going to use this name. The region is going to be US Central Iowa. The same thing is selected, but we have others as well. And the zone is going to be US Central 1F. Next, it says that we need series N1 series. The virtual machine type should be N1. So it's the first generation. So the thing about this is the processors which we use are powered by Intel's Skylake CPU platform. And then the machine type we are using is 2V CPU. So here we selected N1 standard one. We want to change it to 2V CPU, 7.5 GB memory, so which is RAM. As you can see here, N1 standard 2 CPU, 7.5 GB RAM. So as you can see here, we selected the same thing. Moving forward, and we have to select boot disk of 10 GB balanced persistent disk OS image. So here's the boot disk. Let's see what are other options we have. So operating system is selected as Debian, which is what we want to select. That's what it's asking us to do. So we have other operating systems as well, like Windows Server, we have Ubuntu. These are some of the things most of us know, or Red Hat, or things like that. And we don't have to select the version. I don't think it's specified in version. Yes. So You have to click on Linux 10. Yes. So we're going to select that. So we configured our boot disk. So next we're going to allow HTTP traffic. So the reason we are creating this virtual machine for this lab is that we are going to deploy a web server. So to do that, we are going to allow HTTP traffic on our virtual machine. So that's done. So we configured all the necessary things we have to do for this virtual machine. Now we click on create. It will take a minute to provision our resources. Okay, so it says that the instance is running, and this is our virtual machine. So now what we are going to do is we're going to use SSH. For those of you who do not know SSH stands for Secure Sockets Shell, which is a type of network protocol which we use to communicate between two computers. So many of you must have heard of TeamViewer. TeamViewer is like we'll connect to a different computer and control it from our computer, but it's about video streaming, and TeamViewer uses its own set of protocols. Those are proprietary. So the most common ones and popular ones is SSH, which is used to connect to a terminal, Linux terminal especially, and we can control that Linux machine remotely from a different computer. So I'm using my computer to connect to the virtual machine using SSH. So when I click on SSH, a new window pops up. I think I have to share my whole window. Just a minute.
He does that, I would just like to point out that all of this information as he's showing will be available to you on doc, so you need not memorize any of this. There are like follow along tutorials present in the doc itself. You'll just need to read and paste the things over there. So in case if you are new to many of these terms, you need not worry at all. Like when we first started out in last year, like many of these were new to us as well, so you need not worry about them. So,
Okay. For some reason, I couldn't share my entire screen. Okay, but so this is our SSH. We have connected to a virtual machine through SSH. So here's a virtual machine. Let's see. Let's see if this is our virtual machine. If you remember, we selected for our for memory of 7.5 GB RAM, right? So let's see if Google actually provisioned us with 7.5 GB RAM. So as you can see here, the total memory we are given is about 7,474 megabytes, which is about 7.5 GB RAM. So Google Cloud provisioned us with a virtual machine which has 7.5 GB RAM and or primary memory. So let's see if it provisioned us the boot disk. As you can see here, it provided us SDA1, which is a boot disk. It's about 9,890 megabytes, which is about 10 GB. So this way we are given the actual virtual machine by GCP. So our virtual machine is successfully created. So let's actually play with it. Like let's create a sample text file. This is how you create a file in Linux. So this is Debian is a distro of Linux. So that's why we are using Linux commands to control this computer, to this virtual machine. So let me give some text. I want to save it. Let's see if our file is actually saved. As you can see here, the text is hello world GDSC Geetham. See, I have my sample text in this virtual machine. So, okay. So what we have to do now is, what it says is that we have to install a web server, particularly Nginx web server. So I think I have to share my screen again. Okay. Okay. So we are about to install an Nginx web server. So we have different types of web servers. You can use different types. So for example, in Python, we have Flask web server. But for this lab, we are going to use Nginx web server. So in order to install a web server, we are going to have to get the root access. Root is like an administrator in our Windows machine. So sudo su. So we're now the root user of this virtual machine. So before we go and install Nginx web server, we are going to update our OS using this command. As you can see, there are a bunch of updates, and those are completely done. So to install this, so it also gives us this output, the expected output, and there is a lot. So we also got a bunch of lines as output. So next we are going to install Nginx. So it's installed. So to confirm if Nginx is running, let's do that. As you can see here, it gives us the details that Nginx is running. So now we are meant to return to our cloud console. So now we have an external IP address for our computer, for our virtual machine. So when we click on it, you can successfully see that our web server is successfully installed and it's deployed. So it's working. So with this IP address, we can access this website anywhere. So that way we use our virtual machine to deploy our web server and to host our website. So after you do a particular task, you have to check your progress. So it checks if you did all the things as it said. If you change, if you go for a different configuration, it will say that something's wrong with your configuration. So you have to do it again. So to follow the guides and the rules it gives you in order to complete this lab. So the third task is to create a new instance with Google Cloud, gcloud command line. So we already opened our Cloud Shell here. So what we just did is we created a virtual machine using Google Cloud Console. And if you think about that, just a minute. And if you think about that, we are here in India, and we created a virtual machine from the data centers in Iowa, USA. So this is somewhere around here, and we are connected with it, and we deployed a web server onto it, and now that website is available everywhere. And so if you think about it, it's so cool. So let's do it with this time with the command line tool. So there is one command to create the previously configured virtual machine that we did with all the options selected in our console. So we are trying to the gcloud. When you type gcloud, you're going to access all the gcloud command line tools, and we are typing in compute instances. We are going to create the name of this instance is going to be GCE Lab 2. We created already one called GCE Lab, just GCE Lab. See, and this time we're going to give it a different name, GCE Lab 2, and the machine type is going to be N1 Standard 2, which we also selected the same thing we selected earlier, and the zone is going to be US Central 1F, and everything else is going to be default. So we run this command. This is the output we are going to be expect. So it takes some time to run this command because Google is going to provision these resources to us. So it's done. So let's see if it's actually done. So we actually created a different virtual machine, but this time we did not use the graphical user interface or console. We did it using Cloud Shell. You can see here. Let me refresh this page. See, the second virtual machine is also running. We can also connect to it using SSH. Okay, so all these are some additional information you can try out. For example, you can click on this command, and when you in Linux or Linux command or Linux terminal, when you click write a command, and at the end when you append this tag called -- help, it gives you information about the command. Let's see. Let me activate. Okay, Cloud Shell. Okay. So here you get a bunch of necessary information you can use. So these are all the types of flags you can add. This way you can provide the boot disk size. And in this way you can create a disk. And all these useful flags are present here. Okay. And it says that we have to see 2 new instances listed here. So we are seeing that GCE Lab 1 and GCE Lab 2. So it says that we can also SSH directly using Google Cloud. Instead of pressing on this SSH button, we can also do that using the Cloud Shell using this command. So it's nothing different. It's just we are providing to SSH to GCE Lab 2, and when I click on this, when I run this, okay, so I'm in the virtual machine now. So this is how we are going to use it. So let me exit it. I exited from that virtual machine. Instead of opening a new tab, it will directly show it from here in the shell itself. So that's how it works. So I'm going to also exit from the other virtual machine we connected, this one. I'm just going to type exit. It's done. I have to click exit one more time. Okay, so it's closed. So after it's done, sometimes the lab asks you a few questions, so to test your understanding. I don't think this will be graded, but you can still use them to test your knowledge. So it says that what are the ways you can create virtual machine instances in Compute Engine, and the answer is the Cloud Console, which we just use now, this graphical user thing, and the G-Cloud command line. We also use them here in the Cloud Shell. So it's right. So we are completed with the lab. So in this way, we can continue with the other labs. When we are done, finally, we can click on End Lab. So as soon as we end lab, within few minutes, your account will be the account that Quick Labs provided with the it's actually temporary. So that account is removed, and the virtual instances you created and the web and all those things will be recycled. So it's done. So this is about it. This is about Quick Labs.
That was actually inspirational, Samuel. So what I was saying
Guru,
is
you're
that
on mute.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool to use GCP and all. It's so interesting to learn all these things.
Exactly. And that was a very quick and interesting tutorial about
And
it.
this is
What do you
just
say?
this is just the beginning, and there are a lot of services to use in GCP.
True. This
Yeah.
was just an introduction.
Yes.
And don't worry, guys, if you are not familiar with the terms, everything will be provided in the doc itself. Since Samuel was explaining, it took a little long, but it would usually take around 10 minutes to complete this lab once you are, once you have the tutorial along with you. So yeah. So I'll be sharing my screen to continue with the rest of the presentation. Thank you all for staying patient till now. So yeah, coming on to the most interesting part, since we have done the hands-on demonstration, coming on to the most interesting part, prizes. Who wouldn't want to win cool swags from Google? To earn prizes in this program, you need to complete either of the tracks. Students' progress is recorded on daily basis and will be evaluated at the end of the program, that is on 27th October. So the program starts on 27th of this month, the forms for which will be given to the leads, that is, given to the team, GDSCs, and we will share with you on 21st. The form will be rolled on 21st. It might be morning or afternoon. You just have to look for it. Since this form is based on first come first serve purposes, students all across India will be waiting for the chance to fill this form. So guys, stay tuned with us and join us on the WhatsApp groups. I will share the link to you in the chat box and fill the form as soon as it is there. And once you're in the form, you just have to opt for DSC, Visakhapatnam campus of Geetham Institute, since we will be providing you the credits. So if you opt GDSC Visakhapatnam, we can provide you the credits for the lab and then you can go on with them. As you can see, here are a few of the prizes and the goodies that Google provides to us. There are stickers, t-shirts, bags, bottles, and many more. You also get like a very valuable certificate of appreciation from Google. Many of our teammates have received prizes. Few of my teammates will now be sharing experiences. Sanjana, would you like to share some of your experience?
Sure. So I actually attempted the 30 days with Cloud challenge last year, and it really was a smooth journey. I attempted both the tracks. So from the first track, I could understand the basics of cloud, and in the second track, a bit of machine learning was involved, which could actually help me improve my knowledge regarding the whole thing. And attempting these tracks was pretty much a regular process. I would do at least 2 labs a day. So within a month, I could complete both the tracks, and it was pretty much a smooth process for me. And yes, the moment I received my swags, it was really a happy moment for me. And overall, it was a very smooth experience through which I could learn a lot in the first place, and also, of course, win a few cool Google swags, which were pretty much everything I could show off on my LinkedIn or any other social media handle. So yeah, it was a very smooth process for me. And since this is completely free for you, it's 100% free. You don't have to go through a test or anything for entering into this. There's no selection criteria or something. You just have to fill in the form whenever it arrives. It's completely a first come first basis thing. So there's no particular criteria which is based on you. So do attempt it first, and there are going to be a lot more things you can expect from this year's 30 Days of Cloud Challenge.
I posted a short link and a few words in the chat box. So feel free to join our WhatsApp group so that you can get the link as soon as possible. Since it is India, there are crores, hundreds of crores of people across the whole India, and the chance is only given to 50,000 people. So be the one among the 50,000 to fill the form and get yourself enrolled in this program. Join us on the WhatsApp group so that you can get the link as soon as I receive it. So yes, guys, that's it about the cloud. And there is one more participant from our group, that is Kushal. He would be sharing a few lines about how he got the swags.
So hello guys. Last year I have given the participation for this Google 30 Days of Google Cloud. So I have completed my 2 tracks, both the cloud engineering track and my ML track. It was quite interesting, and I have learned a lot through that. And see, initially they will be given 500 credits for us, if I'm not wrong. So you don't need to worry that. Once I've given the lab, but I didn't finish the lab, but my credits are lost. and you credits are like just a bank. You'll be having lots and lot of credits in your account. You no need to worry about will it be finished or it'll be over. uh, you can happily participate and gain knowledge from it. Coming to the swags, I have received. Let's see, for last time for one completion of track, I got one T-shirt and one sticker packet. And when we complete two tracks, both the two tracks, you'll be getting an additional of one bag last time. And now I think there is a change in the goodies. It looks interesting this time compared to last time. So this time I think they'll be including this T-shirt, sticker packet, and bag and bottle. It's great. See, and you there is compulsory. There's sure you no need to have doubt that will I be getting my swags after completion. Everything is being tracked by Google, and you no need to worry. After the completion of 30 days, they'll be downloading a form for giving you the profile link, and also they'll be checking they'll be verifying your profile. If you are eligible, they'll ship your goodies as soon as possible.
Yeah. As you can see, the best proof is all of us are wearing the t-shirts right now. Kushal, if you could show through your camera. These are the t-shirts which we got. And I hope the bags and all are still safe with you all. So yes, guys, the swags are amazing. Who wouldn't want to go around with the t-shirt with the logo Google on it? So yeah, it would be very amazing if you would all attend, future events of GDSE if they happen on campus through the Google shirts to show community support and stuff. So yes, guys, we are done with the presentation. You don't need to worry about the technical aspects of it. We will be covering more about that. Other than the technical aspects, since they are like too deep to get technical into, if you have any general doubts regarding GDSE or this cloud program and enrollment, any of that stuff, you could shoot them in the chat box. We'll be taking Q&A session for a few minutes now, and then we will close it. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask them in the Q&A session. And yeah, previously there were few of the doubts. Few doubts were asked that, are these labs self-paced? So I'll just be reading out the questions and answers which I got during the presentations. Are these labs self-paced? So yes, definitely. These labs are completely self-paced. You can do them like anytime you want. There is no deadline that you have to do particular lab in the morning or the evening and anything. And yeah, coming to the credits, as we have mentioned, you'll get a lot of credits. They are more than sufficient to attempt the lab multiple times. So even though if you couldn't complete the lab on the first attempt, you'll be given multiple attempts for it. So it is okay. And there was another question, is it only for Geetham people or can I share it with my friends? To be honest, our main motive is to get this, give this program or, give this opportunity to as many Geethamites as possible. There is no official restriction on the part, but there is one catch though. Since we are providing the credits, unless they sign up with our name, that is, they belong to GDSE Visakhapatnam. Are you there, Syed? So yeah, this is one of your, one of our peers' questions, Syed. So he asked this question: can I call in my peers as well? So answering that, I would say, if your peers are joining this, I would say if your peers are joining, they would have to sign up through, like there will be a question on the form saying which campus do you belong or which GDSE do you belong. So there, they would have to choose GDSE Visakhapatnam since we will be having the credits. Whoever has chosen GDSE Visakhapatnam, we will be notified about them and we can give credits to their account using, the email through which they filled the form. I will also be sending you the page link so that you can join and be a member of our community. You don't need to pay anything. You just need to press, join the members. Join the community so that you can get, notified about all these things. I'll be sharing, a screen. I'll be sharing one thing on the screen. Anyone of the hosts confirm if you're able to see this. Kushal, Sanjana, are you able to see this? Yeah. So yeah, this is the screen which you'll be seeing. Since I'm already a member, this will be showing you're already a member of this chapter. In case, since many of you might not have been a member of this, I'll just open it in a new tab and just show how it looks. So yeah, this is the event which is currently taking place. So once you subscribe or once you register to an event, all the notifications will be sent. We have conducted numerous events in the past, and these are the main organizers. And there are a lot more coming up this year. There are new, new joinings and new recruits this year who have amazing skills. So yeah, here is the join us button. Once you press there, you'll be a member of the community and you'll be receiving notifications and such. Yes, guys. So that is about GDSC Vishakhapatnam, since you can see. So yeah, the main thing I would like to say is if any of your friends from outside or other campuses are joining, tell them to mention GDSC Vishakhapatnam, or yeah, Geetham GDSC Vishakhapatnam, so that we can give them credits. Because if they fill some other name, we would not be able to give them credits, and yeah, they'll be tracked under some other campus. So that's it, guys. Thank you all for joining. We would wait for 3 more minutes or so. If you have questions, we could ask them. We could answer them. Feel free to join our Discord channel in case if you haven't joined already. If you are new to new to the app called Discord, if you would like, I would also like to show you a quick demonstration on how useful Discord channel is, because you'll be missing out a lot of amazing opportunities if you're not a part of it. So yeah. Since we have finished the event before the tentative time, I'll be showing a few more things on Discord. Uh, yep. So yeah, I'm in the Discord channel. So this is our GDSC Geetham server. I hope you all are fine with the dark mode, since light mode is a little annoying. So we have around 494 members in our community, and it is continuously growing and it's constantly expanding. So these are the channel. This is the core team. This is a channel accessible by our team members. You also have a domain known as general, where you have announcement, dev news chat, general chat. You can join the server. I will be the link is there in the uh, in the in the link which I shared. You can join through that, the link tree link. I'll be sharing it again in case you missed it. So here you can have announcement, general chat. You can also listen to music along with us. You have the whole team members over here to help you. You can ping us in any domain. So here is the get help section. You can ping any one of us in the domain, in these respective domains, and we would help. We would be very happy to answer your doubts. There are also other channels such as share your work or project suggestions. If you have built any amazing app, many of our friends have built amazing apps and they have shared their success stories with us over here. So we will be providing support to you. Geetham Student App is an app built by Samuel, who is my co-speaker. And not only this, there are many other apps which were built and many other websites and games which were built and being shared over here. You can also suggest projects and work on them using the community. You can also network with people sharing your information and other networking. Not only that, DSC is not all about technical stuff. You can even have fun in the session. You can even listen to music. You can take break. You can share memes, as you can see. You can share memes, or you can have off-topic discussion as well. So this is a completely packed, like fun journey which you will be going on along with us. So you'll have to sign up to the Quick Labs after 27th of September. The form you will be filling on 21st of September, but the labs will only be counted. And guys, I'll again try to remind you, the labs will only be counted, or the progress for the tracks will only be counted for the ones you complete after 27. So by chance, if anyone of you has already, gone through the quest last time and is trying to reappear again, it is fine. You can appear again. But the thing is, you'll have to register through a new email ID. Since last time you have already covered, the progress won't be tracked and you'll not be eligible for goodies. So that's why I would suggest using a new account to sign up this time, and start your labs only after the start date, which is 27. And also, as Samuel has already demonstrated, try using incognito while signing up, since you will not be using your details and you will be using the details provided by Google for the temporary, performance of the labs. Yes, guys. So that's it from my side. I'll be sharing the invite link to you in a moment, so you can join us in this community as well. I've shared the link tree just now. Regarding the recording, this recording will be present in the platform. So I guess you can go to the platform and see about the recording. If possible, we'll try downloading the whole event and publishing it in WhatsApp. Publishing it in YouTube. So stay tuned with us and join the WhatsApp groups to know more about this. Yeah. So that's it from my side, guys. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask them. We'll be answering them, or you may leave the session. It was a wonderful session. Thank you all for joining. And also, guys, if you have any other, okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments. If you have any of your classmates who didn't join the session, it's okay. They can still participate in the 30 days of program. Make sure you send them the WhatsApp link so that your friends don't miss up this opportunity to get amazing Google goodies and all. And also, you'll be having a peer along with you whom you can perform these labs. So make sure you get at least 3 to 5 people, each, so that you as a peers or a group of people can perform these labs and clarify each other's doubts. So feel free to share the WhatsApp link invite with your friends as well. And yeah, grow and let grow.